Soon 2.7 will arrive, and with it, a really interesting pair of characters will come out. Today we'll go over the first unit, HISSABETH. Welcome to her build guide. HISSABETH is a mental plant sub-DPS capable of generating an unusual amount of attacks thanks to her Snake's Den, which combined with her unique kit will offer plenty of damage options for your team. Let's go ahead and check her insight. Insight 1 enables her main mechanic, giving her 8 stacks of Snake's Den. This is an important status her kit revolves around. At the start of the round, if HISSABETH has at least 1 Snake's Den, it will generate 1 level 1 Hiss, and consume 1 stack of Snake's Den. This can happen only once per round. It is also important to mention that Hiss doesn't count towards the hand-drawn limit, so you can have as many as you want. But what is Hiss? Hiss is a special attack that is only acquired through her Snake's Den mechanic. It is a one-target attack dealing 50% mental damage to the enemy and inflicts a debuff called Serpentine Scales. Hiss is also considered an ultimate and doesn't consume AP when played. We talked about the debuff just now called Serpentine Scales. This is a debuff status on the enemy that will deal Genesis damage at the end of the round that can crit and is also affected by Ultimate Might. Once triggered, it consumes the stacks and returns to HISSABETH as stacks of Snake's Den. In case the enemy dies with more stacks still present, Serpentine Scales will then be transferred to the enemy with the highest attack. Let's now continue with their insight. I2 is an 8% damage dealt increase, and I3 makes it so when attacking enemies afflicted by Serpentine Scales, you will inflict 1 stack of rigidity and gain 1 Moxie, once per round. Now that we know her insight, let's learn her kit. Her skill 1 is called Ouroboros, and it's a mass attack dealing 120 to 300% mental damage to 2 enemies. It would also deal additional 60 to 150% more mental damage to enemies afflicted with Serpentine Scales. Her second skill is a buff called Infinite Recursion. It's a self-buff and will consume 2 to 4 stacks of Snake's Den. At the end of the round, it will then generate 2 to 4 rank 1 hisses, assuming there are enough Snake's Den stacks. If the stacks are not enough, she will gain 1 to 3 Moxie instead. Lastly, her ultimate. It's a mass attack dealing 500% mental damage to all enemies. It also increases the damage taken from Serpentine Scales from 20 to 70%. At the end of the round, it will recover all Serpentine Scales from enemies and gain an equivalent number of rank 1 hisses. This means that by doing the ultimate, HISSABETH will complete the cycle of Serpentine Scales faster and generate more Hiss cards. Now that we know her kit, let's go ahead and check her portraits. P1 improves her Insight 1, making it so now Snake's Den can convert into Hiss at the start of the round 2 times instead of 1. Hiss is also improved in damage depending on the card rank. P2 augments her Height 3. Now, the Serpentine Scales rigidity application and Moxie gain can happen up to 2 times per round instead of 1. This means you will be able to petrify 1 enemy each round. P3 improves the ultimate by increasing the Genesis damage per stacks of Serpentine Scales to 100%. P4 increases the ultimate damage, and P5 further boosts the Genesis damage to 130%. Of all portraits, the best value definitely comes from P1 and P2, loosening the restrictions on Hiss generation, increasing damage, Moxie, and double rigidity application will give you an easy petrification of 1 enemy each round. For her Psychube, HISSABETH will have her own best-in-slot called Never Ending Q&A. At Amp 1, after casting a single target ultimate, Ultimate Might will increase by 3%, stacking 4 times. After casting a mass ultimate, critical damage will increase by 6% up to 3 stacks. This is tailored around HISSABETH considering his counts as ultimate and it is a one-target attack, making it the perfect Psychube for her kit. When it comes to resonance, considering her role and the fact that her Genesis damage can crit, HISSABETH will be using a crit-oriented build with an elucidation frequency to focus on ultimate might, critical rate, critical damage, and more flat attack for a higher Genesis. Now that we know how HISSABETH works, let's check her team options. HISSABETH kit revolves around spamming hisses and cycling them with the ultimate while applying serpentine scales on enemies at the same time. Considering that his counts as an ultimate and serpentine scales benefits from ult might, HISSABETH wants to play with allies that can offer compatible buffs. Such as Melania, for example, with her new Euphoria, it will be able to grant fixed plant which increases ult might, crit rate, damage, and also increase the moxie stored. Another character would be Lopera that can give ultimate might bullet as well as provide crit buff and healing. If you're looking for a plant-only team, she can also work well with Druvis, contributing in petrification and still benefiting from Cycle of Life bonuses. HISSABETH versatility though doesn't stop here. You could also use her hisses in more original ways, such as Battery for Liang Yu's Tiger Claw, generating many talents in a single turn, or use her with ultimate team characters such as Recoleta or the 2.8 character Moldir for more ultimate synergies. Overall, HISSABETH is a very unique, fun and versatile character that can help many teams and work in many situations. Picking her up will definitely help your roster by giving you a fun character to place and use in lots of scenarios. That's it for today's guide. If you have any question, feel free to leave a comment below or come ask me live on twitch.tv/Jakazin. Thank you for watching and see you next time.